All right, everyone, we had a power outage overnight, which lasted until about half an hour ago, so I'm just going to do my 3 normal videos today. No new tech exclusives, no live stream. Because I wasn't on the internet, I was all frenetic, so I got puttering around and cleaning up and burning stuff and things like that. So, yeah, I had an eventful day, just not one connected to the internet. Anyway, Donald Trump, right now, if you look at polling, link in the description, not archived, it's the RCP's rolling aggregate, is absolutely crushing Joe Biden in the state of Michigan. That is, he's about 6 points ahead, and that's in the aggregate. You've only got one poll, and it's not even the most recent, which showed Biden ahead a little bit. Not even by the margins that Clinton was ahead supposedly in Michigan in 2016. So at this point, if nothing else changes, I would suspect that Donald Trump will take the state of Michigan. There's similar polling in Georgia. Those 2 states combined effectively would tilt the election towards Donald Trump. If he wins those 2 states, he only needs one of the other swing states, if I remember, to actually clinch the election. The thing being, he's ahead at least narrowly in all 4 of them as well. He's not too far behind in Virginia. In fact, Virginia's numbers eerily echo the supposed deficit that Trump had like in Wisconsin in 2016. I think that Donald Trump at this point would take 5 of the 6 swing states that he won before and possibly knock off Michigan. In fact, New Hampshire is not even that far a cry, although it's meandering off in a more left-wing direction again. I'm confused by this because you also have the Free State Project there. That might be one of the reasons why, by the way, deconverted Republicans. Donald Trump, if the election were held today, would win. I fully believe that. And I don't believe the scattering of low info polls that say, well, if Donald Trump is actually convicted of a felony, a bunch of people will stop voting for him. I don't see that happening. Because you've got plenty of intrigue, number one, among the Bidens. Hunter, you had that particular hearing literally today. That descended into chaos a little bit. Marjorie Taylor Greene starts speaking, and he and his legal counsel decide to fuck off and leave immediately. I wonder why they did that. You've got the Biden crime thing going on. You've got the impeachment inquiry, etc., etc. But really what we're seeing in these numbers boils down to a few fundamental things. Americans care less about the court intrigue sort of thing than they do about things that impact them in their day-to-day lives. People buy groceries. People pump gas. People see their wage statements or the statements of their salary and so forth, and then they look at the amount of money that they're making. They look at the migrant crisis every single day at this point, including in northern cities, Chicago, New York City, etc., have been overrun effectively because of the efforts of Greg Abbott and honestly Ron DeSantis and others. That's become an issue outside of the Deep South. It's no longer an issue for Texas and Florida and Arizona. It's an issue for the entire nation because they keep busing hundreds of thousands of illegals every single year to some of those sanctuary cities up there. Honestly, there's one knockout punch that could be delivered right now, and Trump and his people should be lobbying Greg Abbott especially to be doing this. Stop sending migrants to sanctuary cities in states that are not achievable, so New York and Illinois, and start sending them to Milwaukee or to places in Michigan. Send them to Lansing. There are sanctuary cities in some of those states. Philadelphia would come to mind. Texas alone could flip the election by doing that, because it would bring that secondary issue. And I don't say secondary as in it's not important. I say the economy is number one. The migrant crisis, I think, is number 2 on many people's minds. Make it an issue, therefore, in areas where it would be more politically impactful. You've basically got it. I can't see Trump losing enough support at this point in enough states to actually lose the election. Even with the swings that we supposedly hear about with regards to him being convicted of a felony, even then I'm not sure the swing would be big enough so that he wouldn't still be competitive in all the states that he won in 2016 that were blue before. I think he'd still win 3 or 4 of them. Well, there's the election. There you go. Joe Biden really is his own worst enemy, though, because he repeatedly refuses to back down on the economic issue, and now he has pivoted as well to making his campaign literally about Donald Trump. In fact, legacy media articles by groups that are directly associated to Joe Biden have been making this clear. They seem to think that this is a virtue of some kind. The problem is it's not really a virtue. The problem is that if Biden can't put forth a platform and say, here's what I accomplished, man, come on behind the woodshed, here's A, B, C, and D, and his only platform is Orange Man Bad, we've seen this before. It doesn't work. Now, even in 2020, at the very least, he had a campaign. He didn't go to many events. There weren't many people there. Honk, honk. He totally won 81 million votes, by the way. But at least there was some meat on the bones. There was an attempt made. There were some proposals that were put forth. Can you please, I ask this rhetorically, other than Orange Man Bad, Mud Democracy, can you please tell me one campaign proposal that Joe Biden has actually made? Some people right now are talking about the possibility that maybe it won't be Joe Biden. It'll be Michelle Obama out of nowhere. They're going to swap him out for Gavin Newsom. I don't think that would work, and I'll tell you why. And I addressed it on my live stream the other day. Unfortunately, don't have one today to give you. Sorry about that. I'm taking a partial day off. The problem is that if voters within the Democratic Party do nominate Joe Biden, so a plethora of people have actually pulled the lever for him within the Dem primaries, New Hampshire absent, of course, and then you swap him out, so it's not Joe Biden. Some of those people actually do genuinely support him. They're going to be pissed. It's sort of like if Donald Trump is, prevented from being the GOP nominee in a brokered convention or something like that. He's disqualified by the GOP higher-ups. A significant proportion of the GOP will stand aside and not vote for the GOP's candidate. Like, I would definitely not vote for Nikki Haley. There's no possibility under which that would happen. At this point, I don't think I could vote for anybody else other than Donald Trump as nominee of the Republican Party. It's not even sour grapes or anything like that. He's the most eminently qualified. He's the best candidate. I genuinely support him. You can call me Cult 45 if you want. I don't give a damn. He's the one that I want to be the standard bearer. If he's not, if it's somebody unpalatable like war-hawking neocon Nikki Haley, I'll vote Libertarian Party, or I'll vote for myself. I'll do a write-in for Tarl Warwick sort of thing or something like that. That's just the way that it'll be. I can't imagine that there aren't people with similar sentiments, though, in the Democratic Party. I realize that the core fan base for Biden is smaller. It's less hardened, generally, as well. But it does actually exist. There are people who are genuinely partisan Democrats who do like the job that he's doing. I can't imagine who these people are. They would have to be generally upper middle class or above, I would assume. Or people who, it's like, Grandpappy was a long-term Democrat or something. Or something like that. The latter may vote for whoever the Democrats put forward. The former, probably not. Well, because the Democrats have become the party of the rich, which is a juxtaposition on what it was like in the 2000s, that could hurt, because you're talking about some millions of voters, some of them concentrated in swing states, of course, in some of those urban locales, professionals and shit like that. You need their votes. You also need union votes, but the unions, not all of them are supporting Joe Biden now, are they? The standard socialistic unions will, just because he's got the D after his name. Not all of them are doing so. So yeah, Donald Trump is crushing Joe in a state that a few election cycles ago was pretty blue. Michigan was not considered achievable for Republicans up until 2016. It was considered a lost cause. This would be the equivalent of the Democrats managing to nail Texas, which they will not be able to do in the 2024 election. This is significant, and it tacks along with the polling from the other swing states that Trump needs to win. Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, certainly goddamn Georgia looks like it's going to be off the table for the Democrats. What's the gap now? 7 or 8 points or something like that. Restoring it to red state status, by the way, which it had been for a very long time. That's about all. Peace out.